to this episode of Puck Drop. It's been a decent amount of time, I must say, gentlemen. It's been a decent amount of time. But we are back virtually. And let's get the mic over to Jacob and let's get going with this little off-season look at our New Jersey Devils. And I'm going to give you guys a hint. It's good news.
Yes, this has been a very exciting off-season so far. Unfortunately, we haven't been there to cover it immediately, but this is going to be a big update episode on our thoughts on what's been going on this whole off-season. We were going to film this like when free agency opened, but I'm glad we waited because more news has come out since. So let's get started. All right, so let's start off with just the minor signings that happened before all the big news broke. Scott Wedgwood was extended 1 year, $825K. Jonas Siegenthaler was extended 2 years, $1.125 million. Michael McLeod extended $975K. All very, just little things. Then the big news happened July 15th, 2021. Devils acquire Ryan Graves. We'll start talking about him. They traded Mikhail Maltsev and a second-round pick, which was the Islanders. Which the Devils got in the Andy Green trade. And Graves is a solid shutdown defensive defenseman. He is big, 6'5", and he can slot in top pair or second pair. He's going to play with either Severson or another big defenseman who the Devils got. We'll talk about in a little bit. Okay. So next, July 21st, 2021, Nathan Bastian was selected in the expansion draft by the Seattle Kraken. I really like Nathan Bastian. I was sad to see him go, but it's not the worst outcome that could have happened to the expansion draft. Then July 23rd, 2021, Luke Hughes was selected 4th overall in the expansion draft, and Devils Twitter rejoiced because it was pretty much a unanimous thing. It was a unanimous thought process that the Devils should have picked Luke Hughes, and they did. Then the first free agent the Devils signed on July 28th, the day free agency opened, was Jonathan Bernier, 2 years, $401.25 million. He is going to be a backup / 1B goaltender for Mackenzie Blackwood. He'll really
for the title of the side. You think we signed Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, feel the burn. Feel the burn. Saturday Night Live.
I wouldn't be opposed to Sanders playing goalie. I'd like to see that.
That would be very entertaining.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's funny. Go ahead.
And then later that day, we signed Dougie Hamilton, the best free agent on the market. 7 years, $9 million. Is it a lot of money? Yes, definitely. But
Devils have that money to spend.
Exactly. The Devils have the money to spend, and it's like when the Rangers signed Panarin, or when the Maple Leafs signed Tavares. Is that when they gave Tavares and Panarin $11+ million? Is that a lot of money? Oh, definitely. But it's money that's well spent, and it really is going to give the Devils that shot in the arm that they needed to push the rebuild forward. And Tom Fitzgerald has shown this summer he's not afraid to go out and acquire big pieces, as he's shown Dougie Hamilton. Then August 5th, 2021. I don't know why I keep saying 2021 because this is all taking place in 2021.
Oh, really? I thought it was going to take place in 1921.
Oh, yeah, no, maybe we time travel back 100 years. But the Devils signed Tomas Tatar, 2 years, $4.5 million. I put Tuna because that's his nickname. The Devils went fishing for Tuna. And Tomas Tatar is a great addition for the top six. They needed a top six winger. I was getting a little worried they weren't going to get one. They ended up getting Tatar, so I'm happy with that. And then last but not least, also on August 6th and then on August 9th, the Devils re-signed Sharon Govich, 2 years, $2 million, and Yannick Kuokkanen, 2 years, $1.825 million. And yeah, that's everything that's happened this summer.
That's everything.
Yeah.
So we can give our thoughts now. I'm going to give my overall thoughts on the offseason. I think this offseason is going amazing for the Devils. I think they've taken their team from a small core that could become something in the future to not like a legitimate contending team, but a lineup that's not awful and a lineup that,
will compete for a playoff spot.
Yes, exactly. You now have a full lineup that can compete, that you're proud to have compete on the ice instead of Jack
Yeah.
Hughes, Mackenzie Blackwood, and some minor leaguers. That was the case for a couple years because it wasn't a complete team yet. Overall, I think this offseason went well, especially the signing of Dougie Hamilton. Big Dougie Hamilton fan over here. I think with this offseason, Ryan Graves, Dougie Hamilton, I think the defense is solid. It's set. It's all good. The offense could use a little more work there, though. They need one or two more bottom six forwards. But really, overall, we're on pace. We're on a good pace. We're doing well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, not only that, the two defensive signings, I think they're going to work well with PK, who seems to be turning it around. Especially he had a great year this year compared to his first year with the Devils. So I think we're really shoring up a very strong defensive core here. And then, of course, the Hughes brothers coming together. I really think one Hughes is going to be a very big leader to the other Hughes. You know what I'm saying. Hence, possibly Hughes rising up to potentially maybe an alternate captaincy one day in his Devils career. I think he's really going to mentor his brother. Speaking of that, also Igor and Yane, two very big. I think that's excellent. Devils. I think the Devils are.
I said Igor because you said Igor.
All right, whatever. Sharon Govich, doesn't matter. Point is, I think that the Devils are having an excellent offseason. Hats off Fitzgerald, and I'm very happy with the progress they've made in terms of the draft. And you know what? There's really nothing they can do about the expansion draft with Seattle. And just speaking of Seattle, I think that it is a key piece for them, but I don't think they're going to really have that good of a season. This was a big offseason for the Devils. I think potentially they had one of the better off seasons in the NHL so far. Free agency is still open, but yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with this offseason so far. They went out and first of all, they signed all their RFAs relatively quickly, which if you remember last summer or last fall, the Devils took a really long time to sign their RFAs. And Jesper Bratt missed the first 6 or 7 games of the season because it took so long to sign him. Devils did not have to worry about this year. Kuokkanen, Sharon Govich, McLeod, all Siegenthaler, they all got contracts. So that's one thing I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. But also, they got a bunch of big fish, including Tuna, Tomas Tatar,
and
Dougie
if
Hamilton.
the potential center doesn't have Tatar tots, I'm going to be mad. I think we've all been hoping for that when we realized that Tatar was on the market.
No, there. You know how there's the line change at Prudential Center, the restaurant where it has the player.
They better have Tatar tots.
They have to have Tatar tots.
Exactly.
And
that was a tangent.
Yeah, but Dougie Hamilton, huge free agent signing. I mean, like I said before, it's a shot in the arm to the Devils rebuild, and it makes their defense, along with the acquisition of Graves, really legit. When everyone's completely healthy, their defense should be Graves, Hamilton, Smith, Severson, Siegenthaler, Subban, which, first of all, lots of S's, but also is that's a legit defense on a contending team, and especially if Smith takes another step forward. And then on offense, they add Tatar, their top six of Tatar, Hughes, Sharon Govich, Zacha, Hischier, Bratt. Well, it's not the best top six in the world. Is a perfectly servable for a team that is looking to at least contend for a playoff spot. Not exactly make a big run to the Stanley Cup. This is not a roster you're going to win the Stanley Cup with, but it's going to be a team that you might be able to make the playoffs with. I'm not sure. Probably this is a team you might be able to make the playoffs with in the Western Conference. Maybe not in the East. The Eastern Conference is rough, especially the Metropolitan Division. So we're going to have to see about that.
And just a couple points on Hamilton and the defense. From earlier, you were saying Hamilton costs a lot of money. I agree. Hamilton costs a lot of money. I don't think it's an overpayment. One, because it's New Jersey. You got to give the players a little more cheese to come play here. And two, because have you seen these other defensive signings? Devin Nurse, you got Seth Jones, for God's sake. Hamilton is making less money than them. that's a travesty, but as a Devils fan, I like it. And also the defense. I think the defense is good. I think obviously there's going to be changes throughout their slow wind up to being a true Stanley Cup contender. But as of now, I think the defense, this is their go-to defense. This is what Tom Fitzgerald has been trying to build since he got here.
Yeah, not only that, Jordan, alluding to your first point, if you got to think about it, what's more alluding to a player, the beautiful Newark, New Jersey, or the even more beautiful, beachy area of Los Angeles, So I think number one makes a big effect, and I think that's the reason why it's important that the Devils have a lot of salary cap space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, something that's very important is a lot of people aren't talking about. All these players, Dougie Hamilton at one point, every single team in the NHL, including Seattle, every single team was interested, was calling Carolina about trading for Hamilton's.
He's a key defensive piece, let's be honest.
Yeah. He's a top 5 defenseman in the league. And he chose the Devils. Tatar apparently had 12 or 13 teams talking to him, and he chose the Devils. These are big things. It shows, it's going to show for the future that free agents shouldn't be scared to sign with the Devils.
Yeah.
And because
all these
other big free agents are going. So not only is this good for this offseason, it is really important for the future of the Devils off seasons. So you guys have anything else to say, or should we give our grades for the off season and wrap things up?
Yes. I was about to say we should give before we wrap up, let's give our grades and what you think and what we think the Devils can do this season as of right now, and what signings we anticipate.
I feel like when we do number grades, those can be very kind of subjective. Like a 7 out of 10 to one person might be different than a 7 out of 10 to another person. So let's do letter grades. Let's do letter grades. School American letter grades.
All right, I'm giving it hands down an A-. I think that the Devils had to give away a lot of money to get Hamilton. I think Hamilton's a key piece to shore up a solid defense as to begin with. That's number one for me. And number two for me is the Hughes brothers are a weapon. They live together. They've grown up together. The two of them know each other better than anything. So one to mentor the other, potentially put them on the same line one day, I think it'd be key for the Devils organization. They're really thinking about their future. Hats off to Fitzgerald. I know I said in previous Devils episodes that the Devils are a repeat every single season in recent history. They look like they're having a good off season. The next year they're not going to be that good, and we're going to be in the same place. I still stand by that, but at the same time, I think that this is a very, very, very strong off season for the Devils, and there's no reason to think negatively. So I'm just going to think positively here and say that we've set ourselves up to potentially have a very good season and a very good future right here. So let's keep it going. A-. The only reason why I'm not giving them an A is because they're not having the best, off season possible, but they're still doing an excellent job.
Before I give my grade, Ryan, to your point about Devils repeating, Jacob Gordon, our friend, actually wrote an excellent article relating to this topic for the Devils Army Network. You should go check that out.
There's also a YouTube video on their channel. That is a video of the article. So go check out Devils Army Network. Read the article, watch the video.
And now my grade for the offseason, I'm going to give it a solid A, because I think it would be an A+, and I think it will end up being an A+ if they get those two bottom six forwards. But overall, the lineup has really been rounded out. I think they can play for something this season. The rebuild as it was for the past,
the bad years are over.
The dark ages are over. They're not going to be Stanley Cup contenders, but the dark ages have now ended. And for that, I think that deserves an A. And I'm really liking Tom Fitzgerald's tenure so far. He's made some great moves. Jacob?
Yeah. So I'm going to give the Devils this offseason an A. Jordan, I think they need to add one or two more forwards. I don't know what Jordan was specifically saying. Bottom six forwards. If they add a top six forward, I think that works too. Just any forward. I think they need to add a couple forwards. And if they do that, I think it boosts it to A+. For now, I'm going to keep it at an A, but still, fantastic, top tier off season.
Indeed.
For New Jersey. And I think the Devils will, like you guys have both said, this should be a fun year. The dark ages should be over.
I agree.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well,
All right,
again,
let's wrap it up.
The Devils do repeat a lot. Remember what we said when we got PK, but you know what? I think we should think positively, and I think we should wrap this up on a positive note. So good job. All three of us can agree that the Devils are having an excellent offseason. So with that being said, this is a win-win episode and a win-win offseason for the Devils, currently on path to, get us ready for hopefully a good season where we can actually go to games in good numbers, hopefully. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Follow us on Instagram, _drop_diligence, source, right, _drop_diligence. And our Twitter handle is Jacob and Jordan. Try and say it simultaneously.
LHS
Puck drop. That
Maybe
didn't work.
Just Jordan.
At LHS Puck Drop.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.